today's going to be a bad episode. Oh, look at this. I found a beer. That's awesome. I hate it when I drink it so fast, so it gets all in my beard. Drives me insane.
Okay. Why are you talking about like that? It's like you're bleeding.
Yeah, because I'm the goat, man.
Did you get into your neighbor's paddock again?
Maybe.
Okay. We should talk about that another time.
No, we won't. My neighbors are pissed. And anything I say might incriminate myself. Dude, have I got a story?
For you.
Today we're talking about the Goatman. Not the goat man, greatest of all time. Well, maybe the greatest of all time. Maybe greatest cryptid of all time. Urban legend of all time. Well, here's the interesting thing I noticed right away. A lot of places I checked out does not list Goatman as a cryptid. Yeah, everything said urban legend.
Yes, I mean there is some crossover, and even on the wikis it'll show as cryptid, but it is, mostly an urban legend.
Yeah, I thought that was just absolutely. I thought that was weird how it's urban legend and not cryptid, because it is a mythological creature. You know, we've seen we've seen Goatman in mythology before. Herc, Herc. Oh boy, Herc! Somebody kicked me in the balls, Herc. I can't remember what his name was.
They're fawns. They're fawns.
Thank you.
Like goat, lower halves, man. Upper halves, like played a pipe flute.
Yeah. But yeah, everywhere it's urban legend.
Yeah. Okay. But to be fair, not a lot of other mythological creatures make it into cryptid status either.
But I got 3 stories. None of them take place in like toga times, even though they should.
Yes.
Toga, 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 toga.
Okay.
But,
so
want me to start with a spooky story?
Sure.
Well, first, I stand about 6'1". You mean the actual goat man, not the goat man. I'm not giving up on that joke. All right, I got 3 stories. I didn't hit any facts or anything like that. Well, facts, but I decided to go with some spooky stories to keep you awake at night. We gotta go to Maryland. Maryland?
Okay, yeah.
So son, he's gonna basically inherit the house and blah 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 and this and that. It's set back about 2 miles down a nice dirt road, pine trees, lovely scenery everywhere.
I know which one this is. Good, I love this one. Go with it.
Yep, I picked like 3 of them that I really like. So he goes like he's a runner. That's what he does. I don't know why. I don't run. He goes for a run every morning, goes for a run at night. And every once in a while, he'll meet a cloaked man, hunched over. He mentions it sounds like he's walking with a cane, but you can never hear like the cane. Old man walks with a limp, and it looks like he's carrying something underneath. So, hooded over, walking with a limp. Me and probably about another 3 years at the rate that I'm going. But, he'd run by and be like, hey, or hi, and the man never, ever responded. Ever to any interaction that he did. Hey, how you doing? Nothing. But then, one night, he wakes up to a woman screaming in the forest.
Always a good sign.
Oh, yeah. Or at least it sounds like a woman screaming in the forest, as we'll find out later. He calls the police. The police come out. They check it out. They scope out the area. They drive up and down the road. They do some poking around, and they find zip, zot, nada, nothing. There's nothing. Well, it is like a forest too, guys. So it could have been, could have been something.
Yeah, there's half a dozen animals that scream like women.
What
Well, just in
animals?
this area. Oh,
Okay,
geez,
screaming
like
goats. Screaming
no,
goats. Okay, you got me instantly.
no, like fishers sound like babies. Raccoons sound like a cross between a cat and a woman. And yeah, no, you get these animals in like these extreme like fighting conditions or screaming conditions, and they sound humanoid.
I'm looking up screaming animals. Like I looked up screaming goats because they're hilarious. But
Yes, I believe foxes make a weird sound too. But yeah, no, there's just even in Maine, like where I am, there's like a half dozen animals that'll sound like a screaming human in the woods, but that's only under extreme conditions, fighting or duress.
God, that's creepy.
Two, yeah, two raccoons fighting sounds like a cat's dying. Not even joking. I chased a
I don't
couple raccoons out into a field one night because I thought something was killing a cat. It was two raccoons fighting.
creepy. But
Yes. Oh, it was.
anyway, he continues his runs. You think a screaming woman in the forest would kind of deter you from that, but hey, whatever. I'm not nuts. And well, in the story, he says that he's feeling a little lonely. So he figures like the old man out there, he must be lonely as well. They're both basically out in the middle of nowhere. He figures that they're probably neighbors. So, of course, he's got to go and greet the old man. Instead of just being like, hi, and running by, this time he stops.
He's gonna
He
make
walks
it
beside.
happen.
What's that?
He's gonna make it happen. We're gonna be
He's good.
friends.
Yeah, you're my buddy now. And the goat man's like, ah! Screams like a woman. But anyway, this is the only time the old man interacts with him. He stops for a second, but then continues to walk. And so our protagonist here, he decides that he's going to walk beside the old man. He chit chats, he's talking, and then I think the old man gets a little frustrated, a little annoyed, as he sees that he pretty much drops something. The old man does, and it looks like an axe head. He says that the old man sighs and then slowly starts to rise to his true height. The cloak, which was once dragging on the ground, is now about mid-waist. And it's whatever this is, it's well over 7 feet tall. Blah blah blah. It had hooved feet. The bottom half looking like a goat-like face with yellow sunken eyes. And this is when the man realizes that he was on his ass because he was so scared. Well, he was about a mile from home, and what does he do? He books it all the way home. He is a runner.
Yes, and if he wasn't, he is now.
Mm-hmm. And there is a little PS to the story. It's nothing too much, but he stopped running at night. Obviously, still runs in the mornings. But when he finally got the lease signed over to him, it says that he felt like he was signing his own death warrant. He would hear screaming on occasionally after that.
Yes, I like that one.
Yeah, that was one of my favorites. What do you got?
Oh well, I'm gonna go with some OG Goatman. See, there is the urban legend of Goatman. There's three major claims to the first Goatman.
Okay.
But since you're already in Maryland, let's do a Maryland Goatman. The
Sure.
Prince George's County has a monster, and it's a Goatman. I believe it was 1971. A university student in Maryland there did his research paper on the urban legend of the Goatman in Maryland, specifically the Prince George's County. And there's been a lot of stories that came out of there that there's a dog mutilations, goats, animals missing, creature chasing teens down the road and stuff. And some of these stories, unconfirmed, claim to date back to the 1920s as
Goatman's an old
the
man.
origin. Huh?
Goatman's
Well,
an old
okay.
man.
Well, to be fair, we're talking about Goatman, ergo probably not human anymore, therefore not necessarily stuck to human aging. As an urban legend, he's probably angry spirit, and in fact, supposedly, the Prince George's County one there, one of the origin stories, which again, it's an urban legend, so there's dozens of variations of it, is back in like the 20s there's a goat farmer and a bunch of teens like killed or hurt some of his goats, so he kind of went cray cray. He started like killing their dogs, chasing them down roads and stuff. Of course, this is supposedly back in the 1920s. I think this is definitely an urban legend. As teens, yes, you can travel then, but teens weren't riding around in cars doing as much dumb shit in the 1920s as they were in, let's say, the 50s.
Incorrect.
Well,
there wasn't nearly as much mass media back then in the 1920s as there was the 50s, the 70s, and even especially today. So they were doing this dumb shit. We just never heard about it.
Oh no, I'm not saying they weren't doing dumb shit. I'm just saying the access to do dumb shit was more limited, as they didn't have access to mommy and daddy's car after 9 p.m. So they couldn't drive 10 miles to 3 towns over to harass an old man like they can now.
Now they just do it online.
Yeah, fair. But no, so that is one of the OG Goatmen. That's one of 3 I will discuss. And yeah, he looks like a goat, half human, chases teens, yells, screams in the forest. It was 1970. I have this date here. 771 was when the student put out the paper, and so supposedly there's been multiple sightings since.
Well, I definitely think there's more than one Goatman.
Oh no, there absolutely is. But yeah, this is one of the OG Goatmen, one of the 3 that claim to be the original, which is
what are you talking about? Huh? I'm the OG goat, man. Told you I'm not letting that joke die.
Yeah. But yeah, no, that's the Maryland Goatman. Pope, no, not Pope, the Prince George's County Goatman, one of the OGs. So, what's your next story?
Well, we're gonna have to do some more traveling. We're gonna get out of Maritime. Why can't I not pronounce that word?
Maritime.
Okay. Maritime. Okay. We're gonna go to Anchorage, Alaska.
Okay. That's a little bit of a jump, yeah.
Okay, Kyron. I believe that's how you pronounce the name. They live in a nice wood cabin, all that. Lives with the husband and the son. They mentioned the dog too, but the dog's not in the story, so I don't know why they mention it. It's just like whatever. Because I noticed a lot of them. The Goatman likes to kill dogs, so the second I heard lives with our dog, and I'm just like, oh crap. No, the dog is safe.
Yeah.
So they're basically surrounded by miles of tundra and wilderness and all that really nice stuff that you get in fucking Alaska. When one day they're out traveling through the wilderness. They often took drives to see wildlife, and Stuff like that. Don't know why. It's cold. But here's the odd thing. They see a bear running in fright.
Yes, yeah, I heard this one, yeah.
What the hell causes a bear to run scared?
A bigger bear?
Oh, no, they'll still fight. Bears are assholes. Unless, of course, it's a cute little black bear, in which case I'm going to pet that dog.
Until it eats a bunch of cocaine and goes crazy.
Great movie.
Yes, I love that movie. Horrible adaptation because it's based on almost nothing, but great movie.
Yep. Are you kidding me? I'm waiting for the adaptation of on Porky Pig all of a sudden. Adaptation of the boar that drank like 12 beer and picked a fight with a bowl or something like that. Look at that, it's hilarious.
Yes, I've heard of that.
But anyway, while they're driving along, they see this bear running. They look over at the tree line and they see a huge creature standing there at about 7 feet tall. Again, with a 7 foot tall, with a goat face, goat legs, human torso. Oh. But nobody ever mentions, is like Goatman built? Or does he have like a beer belly?
Probably be a lot less scary if he had a beer belly.
Uh-huh.
Unless he's like
Sitting there.
that one from the floor there that had the beer belly but still had the muscles, like the bodybuilder, well, power lifter.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of scary.
But no, just a straight up beer belly with like mayonnaise running down the chin, just like hi. Anyway, so they're about 7 feet tall. They notice the smell of horse manure, which may describe the story. And this is when it proceeded to chase after their Jeep. Well, they never said how fast they were going or how fast Goatman was going or anything like that, but they said it was damn fast.
Yeah.
They outrun it, and it slowly slinks as they're watching. It slowly slinks back into the forest. And then, of course, later that night, they hear the scream. Why is Goatman always screaming? Screaming goat, man.
I was gonna say, have you met goats?
Yes. Well, yeah. I was literally like 3 months away from owning goats. My life sucks. Anyway, the next day here, the sun playing outside, as I usually do, mother inside. When the son called to Kyron, like, hey, Mom, come here, come look at this.
Yes, I heard this.
The mother goes outside to hear the voice coming from the edge of the trees. She walks towards it, and that's when something grabs her hand. Want to take a guess what it was?
The dog?
No, it was her son.
From the forest, right? He had a long, stretchy, like rubber hand that reached and grabbed from the forest.
Well, his voice is coming from the trees, yet he's standing right there. Of course, she quickly gathered up her son, runs back inside. As she was looking, she could see the silhouette of whatever it was that they saw yesterday slowly sinking back into the forest.
Yep.
Oh, it doesn't end there. Later that night, they heard a humming coming from outside. Now, here's the interesting thing about the humming. Kyron, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I'm horrible with names. Said it was alluring to her. Like she wanted to go outside.
Yeah, almost like a siren type thing.
Yep. She resisted, and after that, there was nothing else ever again. So, another encounter with the Goatman survived.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, I heard that one too. That was a that was another one of those pretty interesting ones, and it definitely has the modern Goatman things, just like like it has a lot of the common core that a lot of the modern Goatman sightings tend to have.
Yeah, yeah. There's a reason I picked these three stories. It's because well, the first one it gives us a basis, right? And then the
Yes.
next two explore some of the more unusual powers that cryptids don't usually have, such as mimicking a voice.
Um, is your last story happen to be Anna Nassie's Goatman story by any chance?
Is it a group of 20-year-olds that are going camping?
No, that's actually a one I yeah, that's although please tell it because it's almost identical to this one in a lot of ways, which is makes a very good point I will have after this.
Alrighty. So,
I know this one as well. I like this one.
a group of 20-year-olds, they go out camping one night. There's 13 of them in total. Like, not everybody knows each other, they're kind of like different cliques coming together. It's not adorable. So there's like the nerds, the jocks, the bimbos. I'll be over by the bimbos. Bye. If I lean over anymore, I'm going to fall off. Anyway, so the very first night, they're all having a fire. They all got some beer, of course. Everybody's having a good time. When why is my writing so messy? Well, they heard something in the bushes, like just around their campfire, maybe just outside. Their light. Somebody just threw a beer bottle. Whatever, probably a wild animal, something like that. Scared off. They hear the beer bottle break, and whatever it is, they can hear it scuffle back into the forest. Whatever, just a raccoon, possum, death, or a squirrel. Anyway, later that night,
Squirrel is
they
death. I don't know what you're getting at there.
hey,
Squirrel is already death.
anything that can store nuts in their cheeks can't be all bad.
Or that can fall at terminal velocity and not die. You'd have to drop a squirrel from like 100,000 miles because it wouldn't die upon landing. It'd have to starve to death on the way down.
Well, this has my curiosity. Anyway, weird.
No, it's terminal velocity, as in the squirrel falls as fast as it can, and it can survive an impact from that speed. So in order to kill it from a fall, you'd have to drop it from a height where it would starve to death. Because dropping it from a height where it hits terminal velocity, it will not kill it.
Terminal velocity was also the name of a great Mac game back in like '96. Anyway,
Yeah, it's a really cool scientific concept. Terminal velocity is not dropping squirrels.
No, terminal velocity is officially dropping squirrels, and that's it. But they're all asleep. Then they hear like a popping sound, like the popping of a fire. That's kind of weird. They put the fire out.
Yeah.
When they go out, the fire is roaring. Of course, everyone thinks that somebody else, came in with some gasoline and whatever. Ha ha, practical joke. Funny, ha ha. But here's the thing, though. They all complained about a god-awful smell. Not necessarily horse manure. Maybe it was something else. They just describe a horrible smell. So, the next day, whatever, it goes off without a hitch. Second night, at about 4 a.m., they hear voices coming towards them. Like the kind of voices that you can tell are voices, but you can't make out, like, what they're saying.
Yeah.
So, all 13 of them, they all huddle together. And they wait for the voices to come out. They sitting there waiting for them to approach. But then the voices stopped. And a humming noise starts. Now, they don't mention this being like alluring to them or anything like that this go around, but still, once again, past story humming, this story humming.
Yeah.
One of the group asks, "Who's out there?" You know, and nothing. Dead silence all of a sudden. Not even crickets or frogs or birds or anything. and then the voices started again. But instead of voices, it started to sound like a single voice, and it's slowly started moving away.
Yep.
I don't know about you, but at this point, I'd be getting the fuck out of there. I know how horror movies work. Believe you me, I am not the survivor. I'm the comedic release that dies like third or fourth to the end, but people think I'm still alive, but it's really just the monster holding my severed head in a bush.
Unless you're going to be secretly be the killer, which is the other way that a comedic guy can go.
Fair enough. Want to go camping? Now, here's the thing, though. The very next night, one of the girls mentions, and I think this is information that she maybe should have brought up earlier. Yeah, she counted. There was 14 people when they all huddled listening to the voices. Not 13 like there should have been.
Yep.
Don't you think you'd mention something?
Well, okay. Now, to be fair, there's a lot of people. Maybe she thought there was an extra person that she didn't know. I mean, if they're not all super close, which is kind of the theme of most of the like that story and another one, a lot of them, a lot of times, yeah, I don't know if as long as they all look like humans, I'm not going to be too scared. Considering there's something scary out there, I'm more scared of what's out there.
I'm
I'm
not.
probably
All
not
that's out
counting
there,
anybody.
all that's out there, all that thing can do is kill me. The other 12 people around me, capable of so much worse. I've given up on humanity. Anyway.
Yeah.
At this point, two of the group members, they take off to go get their father, who has a gun.
Yep.
Finally. But, you know, they live quite a ways away, so it'll take about an hour to get there and back. But only, well, of course, we need a complication, right? Well, they're gone. One of the people that took off was spotted standing in the woods about 40 feet away, just staring at them. Someone, you know, familiar with them, I think the name was Brad or something like that. Someone asked him what he was doing, and he doesn't respond. He just slinks off into the forest. Now, when the two return with the armed father, finally, he said he didn't even go on that side of the camp. He went the opposite direction. But they all saw him standing there. Now, definitely at this point, I'm taking off. I'm done with this camping trip, okay?
Yeah.
So at 2 a.m. that night, God, tickle in my throat. At 2 a.m. that night, they heard somebody repeating the question out in the forest. Hey, who's there? You know, kind of like how one of the members asked earlier. But it was also in one of the campers' voices.
Mm-hmm.
The father fires into the air. The voices stopped and start being replaced by a chanting. Ooba chaka, ooba chaka, ooba. I can't help it. This is when one girl screams, points up into a tree, and guess what's there?
What?
A squirrel. No, it was, in fact, the Goatman. It was kneeling in a
Yeah.
tree, holding onto a branch. Before the father can fire a round at it, of course, it jumps off into the jumps off the branch, off into the forest. Yellow eyes, goat face, goat bottoms. Now the creepy thing is, it was laughing like a human while it was running away.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm definitely going home. No, the story doesn't mention if. That was the end.
Yes.
Damn it.
Yeah, no, that's one of the two better stories I heard, and it's actually, I think, a derivative of the story I'm about to get into,
Ooh,
because
do
I
tell.
believe this one came out first. This is dates back to September of 2012. It was posted on 4chan's X board, which, for those of you who do not know, the X board is for paranormal stuff, and it's Ann Ansie's Goatman story. I don't think I pronounced that right, but hey. Anyway, so kids from Chicago, city kid there, has a bunch of family down in Alabama. He's 16 and goes down to Alabama to visit the family, cousins and stuff. His family has a big bunch of land outside of Huntsville. There's a bunch of property that they go on. It's the part they're in is fairly rural. There's woods and stuff. So they get just a bunch of kids together, 15 to 17 years old. They get supplies together. It says they killed some chickens, a pig, and got everything they needed to go stay out in the woods as teenagers in some family trailers for a couple of days.
I've definitely stayed in the woods before, and I've never had to kill a chicken and some pigs. Tell you that much.
Well, I mean, you're bringing out a crap ton of people. I mean, you got to have food.
Bring your own food.
That's what they did. They took food. They killed the chickens and a pig from the farm and brought food out for it. So they got a big party out in the woods. Their family has a couple trailers out there.
Really
They
is
can all
Alabama.
stay. Huh? Yeah. So they get out into the woods there and they come across a father and son hunting, and they start talking. The son and the father and son live upon a plot of land that abuts to this family's land, and the kid's their age, and he's like, "Hey, you want to hang out with us?" And so he starts hanging out with them. Father goes his own way. Eventually, they screw around. They go swimming. They play football. They go out to two trailers, get settled in. Oh yeah, this kid, like the main Nancy, has a cousin named Rooster. Yeah.
Oh boy.
Oh yeah.
Alabama.
Yeah. But yeah, so they like get to this place. They're going. There's a mixture of boys and girls. Dozenish of them, whatever. Not quite a dozen, and they're having a good time. And well, it's like the cousin's like, what, I should go home and get a gun just in case, because there's some weird stuff going on. And one of the other boys like, what, I'll go with you. I think it was the boy they picked up in the woods there, and then one of the girls like, hey, I want to go. So they're gone for like half an hour, 40 minutes or so, because it's about 7 o'clock, so it's getting pretty dark. When they come back there, right beforehand, there's this horrible, horrible smell. It smells like ozone.
The smell again.
Yep, they could smell it over the scent. They could smell it over the smoke from the fire. Like, oh, that's weird. And like he said, it kind of compared it to like copper, like nosebleed, and it stopped, and you still smell the blood in your nose type smell.
Yeah,
Yeah.
first time I've heard it described as that.
Yeah. And yeah, it's just anyway. So it was weird. So it's dark out, and then they see the flashlights, and then they see the three people booking it, running towards them, towards the out of the woods. Get into the trailer. Get into the trailer. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. One of the kids looks like he took a pretty bad tumble. He's covered in dirt. Girl's crying, and the cousin's just like hyperventilating. Yeah.
Did they see a squirrel?
Yeah. It was totally a squirrel. Well, no, they came across somebody on the pathway in the dark who was just kind of like standing there, just too far to see clearly. And when they called to him, no response. It was weird. And they're like, yeah, the kid's like, okay, I'm glad I came back with the rifle. Although I told my dad I brought the rifle because of coyotes, not because of anything weird.
Yeah. It's kind of hard to explain a 7-foot tall goat man.
Yeah. But yeah, then like once they continue moving, they hear things off the path, like following them. And then they see the character again, and they're like, won't answer us. And it's facing away from us. This is weird. And that's when they booked it in, took their own run back in. And it's like, okay, this is a little weird. This is bad. Yeah. Now, like one of the kids mysteriously suddenly has a story about a local goat man. Yeah, he's like, oh, I go to school with some native kids there, and they say there's a goat man that haunts these lands. Yeah. It's like, okay, sure. And according to this kid, it's bad mojo to even talk about the goat. He kind of compared it to like a skinwalker Wendigo type of cross.
Yeah. After we're done our stories here, I was gonna try to get into some of the Goatman specifically. But you're telling me it's bad luck to talk about the Goatman? Are you aware that I have nothing but miles upon miles of open field behind me? Okay, Goatman could be out there.
Well, I mean, to be fair, it's open field. He seems like to hide in the woods and call to you from the woods. So stay away from trees.
Yeah, there's batches of trees here and there everywhere.
Yeah. But yeah, so the kids can like in your story there, the kids don't go home. They're like, whatever. It's just a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so they start drinking. Like, they're teenagers. They're getting drunk around a fire. 1 o'clock.
What?
So
At the age of 15 to 17, I was at home reading the Bible every night. Horrible, horrible kids.
I'm sure that Bible was not hollowed out and full of rum.
Sad part is, the second I said that, I thought about doing that joke, and then you just pulled it. And I was just like, well, okay, that takes care of that.
Well, anyway, so I mean, yeah, by 1 a.m. they're hungry boys and girls. They go inside and start cooking food, and they have 3 packs of sausage. 4 sausages in each one. They're nice, tasty bratwurst type things. Grill them up, and everybody gets one. A little bit later, one of the cousins gets up.
I've heard this story.
Yes, goes back over, and he's like, "What the hell, man? Why'd you get 2 and everybody else got 1?" I was like, there was 12 people that we just fed, and each one got 1. You want more? Cook more. Don't bitch. And then they're like, wait, no, there's not 12 people. There's not supposed to be 12 people. There should only be 11 people. And right about then, right when they were making that connection, one of the girls starts screaming. Yeah. I guess she was about to say that out loud that the person next to her she didn't recognize, and the person like squeezed her and kind of ran. Yeah.
So Goatman went through all this effort for a bratwurst.
Oh, it gets worse. And they all run outside scared because now there's something in the trailer. And obviously after a while there, they have a little bit more courage to go back in. There's nothing in the trail anymore. Like, okay, whatever. Like it's like 1 o'clock in the morning. We're not gonna walk through the woods in the dark. We're gonna stay here for the night.
Yep.
Yep. Well, one of the kids there, he couldn't sleep so well. He was like laying down. He was kind of sleeping, kind of not. And then he sees motion, and he sees somebody. He can't tell who it is. Like come out of the bathroom. He's like, I thought everybody was laying down, and this person comes out and lays down in the middle of the floor, like in the middle of the cabin and everything. And at this point, he's like, okay, this is not right. This is weird. This is kind of creepy. And so he secretly watches this person pretending to be asleep, and this person will get up, walk around, lay back down, get up, kind of like laugh, like shake like they're laughing, but silently.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And this happened most of the night. And then sometime before dawn, there the thing gets up, goes into the bathroom, and like never comes out. And well, later on, they figure out that like the kid goes in and investigates. Like there's a screen window in there. They think the thing had been coming in and out the screen window the entire time.
Never put windows in the
Yeah.
bathroom.
Yeah. Yeah. No, and there was
But
another event there. One of the times, everybody's inside there. Like they saw one of the girls facing the fire when she was supposed to be inside. They're calling to her, nothing, nothing, nothing. And then later on, there once they're like, "You went by the fire?" No, I wasn't by the fire. Well, she's inside now. Okay, that's it. We're staying inside. Somebody calling at the door again, doing the whole kind of trying to like mimic back what was said earlier,
yep.
but unable to say it perfectly. Sound like not robotic, but animalistic. Like not like somebody like when you teach like a parrot to talk and the parrot doesn't quite get it, or the dog, you teach a dog how to say hello, and the dog
Yep.
doesn't quite sound like it.
But stop doing that. That's creepy.
Yeah. Yeah, and so this went on and kind of fizzled out there, and they like, yeah, they were all kind of scared the fuck out of their minds.
At that point, I'd be going home.
Yeah, 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 and so that's the the basic gist of the Anansi's Goatman story, which was posted to 4chan in 2012, which I think a lot of the more modern like cryptid ones are either based upon that or based upon something almost exactly like that. Because if you start looking at all the like you listen to some of the stuff I listen to, a lot of them hit all those same points.
Yeah. Shape changing, voice changing.
Somebody appearing in the group that wasn't supposed to be
Yep.
there.
Well, you know what?
S-
Maybe Goatman's just looking for some friends.
yeah, yeah. Except for
Maybe
that one goat man. Except for the one with the axe. He clearly didn't
it
want
never
friends.
used the axe. And actually the axe is often a I've noticed in a lot of the stories, the axe is also a very common thing.
Yes.
But he never uses it.
Well, I mean, if he did use it, the person wouldn't be there to tell you that he used it.
Fair enough.
But okay, so um, you want to hit upon some of the vaguely native-ish connotations to the Goatman?
Sure.
Think that's where you're headed, right?
I'm done my stories.
Well, I mean, you get a lot of these themes there in the woods, using voices,
Mhm.
standing tall, skinny, weird, sneaking into groups. A lot of those very strongly uh, go upon like blending of several Native American like or like mythology mythos things. with like Wendigo, and then there's a couple other northern
Yeah,
tribes that have some other things that like hop into groups and stuff.
because there's a lot of stories here that I was literally like, I could just replace the word Goatman with Wendigo, and I've heard
Yep.
this story before.
Yes. Yeah. No, I had that same thought too, and but like as with this one, there a lot of these things like if there's anybody who knows about the Goatman in the group, they usually say, "Oh yeah, my native friend told me that this is a thing that happens."
Yep.
Which, however, when looking it up, I couldn't find anything to corroborate that Goatman has any true native connotations,
Nope.
which suggests to me that either it's part of the urban legend, just fake completely, or it's something that's very recent, like since the Trail of Tears last 200 years on the reservation type legend. It's either brand new to the native mythos or not at all. But yeah, there's like very strong like Wendigo like things, and then some of the other native things like the hopping into the group there unseen, unnoticed.
Well,
Like
that's just it. How
that's
is it he's able to hop into these groups and not a single person? It's just like, I don't know you.
they do, but only after the fact.
Hmm. Yeah, it's always after the fact.
Yeah, it's like maybe it's just that that's the stories we hear about is just when they noticed it. Like some of the times, like in Nancy's story there, and in actually the one you read there, the Goatman person had been with him for like a day and a half, type thing before anybody noticed.
Yep.
And
It-
but
like like
yeah,
that's the part that really drives me insane because it's just like in the story she counted.
yeah, and then didn't
Why
tell
would
anybody.
why wouldn't you tell anybody until you're just like, oh wait, we're back down to 13? Now I'll tell people.
Well, okay, again, I stand by the if like okay, not that I was a partier, but say I was a partier back in my teens and 20s, and I live in a small town that has a lot of other small towns surrounding. We get groups that interact with each other, like two or three, like a group of 4 or 5 from like 2 or 3, 4 towns, and suddenly we have a party of people who you only know 2 or 3 people well, and know another 4 or 5 a couple times, and so you don't know the entire group of 15 or 20 people. You know 7 of them, and you assume that somebody at the party knows the other 7.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
But it's a
And I
week
mean,
long camping trip.
you're gonna know each other by the time you're done.
Well, maybe not, since how, Goatman took off.
Yeah. Yes.
But yeah, there's definitely a lot of the stories that have like overlapping themes kind of deal. So like the
Yes.
shape shifting, the yellow eyes, goat-like features, the horns,
Yes.
um, the
The
body of a male.
yeah.
Never see them
Uh,
titties, and the bottom half being of a goat.
yes. You
Shape,
also get the voice mimicking, the
yep, voice
luring,
mimicking, luring,
um,
shape shifting,
blending
and
in, like not even just shapeshifting, but blending in. That's a whole thing on itself. That's pretty impressive.
yeah, exactly. And there's quite a few stories there where people have shot the goat man. Now, in every single story, no blood. The goat man always reacts to the shot, but is never injured. Every single
Yeah.
story I've heard, it's always blam. The fuck? Whatever.
Yep.
But no,
And
this
you
got
see
me
that.
thinking.
Yeah.
I'm a comic book geek, and I've seen shapeshifters in comic books do this when they get shot. They shapeshift around the bullet and expel it.
That's lazy writing, is what that is.
Yeah. That, and you want a big dramatic moment without killing off character.
Yep.
Can't have your cake and eat it too. If anybody kills Morph, I'll kill you. Again.
And to be fair, it's only going to be dramatic that first time they do it, because then it's an unknown thing.
Mhm.
So that you'd have to up the game every time. You have to find a new way to try to kill it.
But like, yeah, exactly. Every time it gets shot, it basically just laughs it off. Well, it doesn't even reacts, but like a
Yeah.
mosquito bite. So,
I've
like I
seen a
said,
lot of.
if it has shape shifting probabilities, probably whatever.
Mhm.
Then yeah, like I said, shape shift around the bullet, expel.
Yeah, another thing it likes to do is likes to likes to copy somebody from the party and then stand somewheres facing away from them where the people can see them and think that they are in some kind of distress, like
Oh,
standing by
my
the fire alone or standing in the middle of the woods or.
well, like in my story, I guess the individual is standing facing them.
Yep. Okay,
So
yeah, so copying standing, but there's something just not quite right about it. They still think
yeah,
the person is
exactly.
in some kind of distress.
Well, it's kept on saying staring, so I'm going
Yeah.
with unblinking, which is always creepy.
Yeah.
But like the voice
Again,
mimicry
so that.
is well. It seems like each night it was trying to get closer and closer to the voice.
Yeah, which is another
Because
thing. Like you hear a lot of those Wendigo and stuff, or not necessarily just Wendigo, but a lot of the cryptids there, they will copy the voice terribly at first and get better and better and better.
yeah, yeah, and it's not just limited neither because it copied the voice of a kid, a 20-year-old. So it's got range.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, selling out Madison Square Garden, the Goatman.
Yeah, it's got range. Um, Now, one thing we do not have a lot of in the more modern urban legends of the Goatman is motive. We don't really know why it's hanging out in these groups. Like we don't understand. Like it's hard to tell if it's just there to terrorize, it's just there to mock, or it wants to hang out, or anything. Because I mean, it does a little bit of everything. You'll try to terrorize and get into a cabin
Uh-huh.
when everybody knows. It's like, but yet it can get into the cabin anyways because it proves that as the morphling later on.
Yep.
It
Like
tries to lure
it
people into the woods, but why?
honestly, I think Goatman just lonely and wants a buddy.
Yeah, but then Goatman gets kind of angry and violent once in a while too, and it's
Yeah, he's not a very good friend,
no, no.
which is why he doesn't have a buddy. Which is why he's lonely. Which is why he wants a buddy. Which is
I don't know, dude. Lots of assholes have friends.
fair enough.
Uh, but
But
yeah, so those.
we've repeatedly seen time and time again where Goatman could have just torn all these people to shreds. The runner who fell on his ass,
Yeah,
and Goatman could have just went with the axe, but didn't.
those when those two
Um,
kids are walking in the woods in the dark, instead of just standing there, it could have attacked them. Or instead
yep.
of stalking them, it could have attacked them.
Well, yeah, it was two kids going to get their dad. Could have taken them out. Could have taken out those three kids,
Yep.
and I don't know. I haven't seen too much violence towards humans with Goatman, so
But you do see anger and kind of a violent-ish actions, things
mhm,
that would make me afraid of Goatman. But you're right, no, not necessarily a whole lot of direct violence. Although
mhm.
in the case of the story I just told, in Nancy's, right when the girl first realized that there was an extra person, she was about to say it, and the person grabbed her and squeezed her thigh painfully to get her to
Well,
stop
maybe he
talking.
panicked.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know. I'm not saying. Okay, wait. Goatman kills dogs, so fuck Goatman.
Okay, no, actually, I think that's a different goat man. No, no, like because like the stories you told and that I told there, those are modern-ish goat men. The ones who
Mhm.
I see that kill most of the dogs are the urban legend historical one, like the Pope Lick Monster, the Alton Bridge, and the Maryland Goatman of the Prince George's County.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, Pope Lick and the old Alton Bridge Goatmen are pretty interesting as well. They're the other two OGs.
Yeah, we should probably quickly dive into that because I got some of it remembered.
Yeah, the Pope Lake monster, colloquially known as Goatman, is a goat man. Part goat, part man.
Mhm.
Maybe part sheep. They're not really sure, but it looks like a goat and a man, so it could be a sheep in there as well. Either way, it looks like a fawn. If we're talking mythology, the goat men traditionally look like a fawn or evil fawn or something. However, like this one haunts a bridge in Kentucky, outside of Louisville, near Fisherville neighborhood of Louisville. There's a train trestle that goes over a creek there, the Pope Creek, and supposedly the bridge is haunted and or guarded or lived in by this monster goat man, and that's as of the 1980s, late 80s. There's been a predominant urban legend there that you go to this bridge, Goatman will yell or scream or throw stuff at you. However, um, the train company's like, no, that's not real. That's not a thing. But yeah,
Well, of course
I
not.
don't.
You don't want to.
Yeah, but I guess like around in '88, there was a little short film release that suggested that there was a monster that lived under the Pope Lake Bridge, and like it encouraged a lot of younger people to go there to the bridge and try to like hang on the train trestle to kind of mimic what the kid in the short film did, and so it ended up with people getting hurt and allegedly and blah blah blah. But it was definitely a long-standing tradition since then. uh, Now, the origin of this goat man, because again, uh, we're working with an urban legend, so there's got to be some kind of origin. They think like the most common urban the origin story for this one is that the person who lives under the bridge or the original goat man was a former circus freak, like so probably horribly like disfigured, but kind of looked like a goat, and that's how it came. And so by this way, the person would have left the circus to live under the bridge and be isolated, and then probably have a very very strong hatred of anybody who comes near it because he's probably been mocked and hurt his entire life, which would explain the screaming and throwing stuff and blah blah blah. Another one is that it's a reincarnated farmer that used to sacrifice goats.
Oh, that's horrible.
Yeah. Again, none of this is likely.
Well, what is it? The Alden Bridge?
Old Alton Bridge, yes.
Old Alton Bridge. Yeah, this was the site of a hanging. Okay, so Oscar Washburn, he was a goat farmer, and he was really good at it. Made had a lot of lively, healthy goats, all that good stuff. Well, of course, this being the 1920s, again, with the 1920s, um, the local white people, they didn't like this because they were putting them out of business because old Oscar was too damn good. So
And he was not white.
what's that? Yeah, that don't
Yeah,
help.
Oscar wasn't white.
So, of course, us being white assholes, took them out to the bridge and hung them. Now, here's the interesting thing: when they checked their handiwork, like they threw them over the side of the bridge. When they checked their handiwork, no body. They searched all over, couldn't find a body, nothing. But nowadays, it said that if you knock on the steel bridge 3 times at midnight, or turn your car lights off and honk 3 times, then you'll actually dare a visitation from the goat man.
Yep.
It's preceded by the stench of decaying flesh, unholy glowing eyes that burn red from the darkness. First time I've seen it ever said red and not yellow. And you might catch an eerie glimpse of a large, snarling, goat-headed man-beast stomping into wooded shadows, or a frightening apparition of a maniacal satyr carrying the heads of goats or humans in his hands.
Yep. And that is the third entry of the OG Goatman.
Mm-hmm. I don't know, except for like I say, you might see and the apparition of him holding heads. Well, it's not like human head; it's apparition heads, and it's like I don't know. I think Goatman's looking for a buddy.
Again, I stand by that these are two different style of Goatmen.
Yeah, same here. It might all derive from the same legend, but lost to time, I guess.
I don't know. Like, it's kind of like the original legend, and then the reboot.
Yeah.
It's completely different. Like original 1980s cartoon Ninja Turtles versus the 2006 Ninja Turtles like TV
Which was
show.
awesome. Both are great,
but very different.
But both very awesome. Okay, yeah. Even better comparison. The Boys comic book to the Boys TV show. Same names, radically different stories. And both, once again, are awesome.
Yeah, so I think it's a complete. It's like a reinvention of the same old topic, the new stories. Which, like I said, new stories I can date back to 2012 for sure, but not much earlier than that.
But I think that about wraps us up, eh?
Yeah, I do believe so.
Yeah, that episode wasn't bad because I'm the goat, man. Last time, I swear. I have a hat. But I keep inside this hat.
Bad self.
What I keep inside this hat is the ideas that we have for upcoming episodes. If you have a topic that you'd like us to cover, comment it below in the comments section. And if we like it, we'll add it to the hat. When we drop from the hat, we'll give you credit. Isn't that nice of us? Okay, I want that one there. That one looks good. What's this? What's this? Oh, it's the Mandela effect. This is where no. We already covered it, I think. We go from spooky in the woods to spooky in a house. We're covering the Watcher house.
Oh, yes, I know this one.
So in 2 weeks' time, like I said, we're going from the forest to inside a house. This one's weird.
Yes, it is.
Well, they're all weird, but this one I've always thought weird. But anyway, thank you all very much for joining us today, and we shall talk to you all another time.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Have a good one, guys.